Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Editor Studio at Power's Distributed Energy Conference. I'm Darrell Proctor, Senior Associate Editor for Power Magazine, and I'm here today with Hanna Grene, Director, Energy and Sustainability Americas for Microsoft. Welcome, Hanna.
Hi, Darrell. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome, and we're so glad you're here with us today. Hanna delivered a keynote address this morning for the Distributed Energy Conference, where she talked about how Microsoft is leading the global effort toward distributed generation and decarbonization in the energy sector. First off, Hanna, I know you have a great background in energy. What attracted you to working for Microsoft?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to partner with Microsoft and to really see the growth of the company in the energy sector. Microsoft has been carbon neutral since 2012, and now the company is scaling up and continuing to grow how we're innovating in the energy industry, and doing that in partnership with power companies, utility companies, distributed energy companies, and innovators really all across the value chain. So it was an opportunity for me to be a part of this pivotal shift that the power industry is going through, and adopting new cloud technology and really building for scale as we work to decarbonize. And also, the company's culture really attracted me to Microsoft. Microsoft is really known for a growth mindset concept. You know, how do we continue to learn throughout our careers and build new teams, and out of that refresh concepts, and really help be at the leading edge. And it's a really exciting time to be in a company that's creative and looking to grow and build within our energy space.
So you have a background in helping companies and business leaders define the big problems that they want to solve, and to help them understand what makes their customers tick. How do you put those principles into practice?
Yeah, well, I'll again say, that growth mindset piece serves me really well within Microsoft, and also in my conversations with our customers and partners. Knowing that, of course, Microsoft has a lot to bring to the table as a platform and technology provider, but we do our best work and we identify the problems really worth solving when we keep our ears open and really listen in partnership, again, to our clients and partners. So keeping my ears and eyes open, listening to understand what are their biggest challenges, where are they trying to be in their in serving their customers, right, and growing their company in the next 20 and 30 years, and then using that to identify a problem statement, and through that's when we really get into build in partnership together. I think one of the other strategic principles that I always like to come back to is long view thinking. There's a Simon Sinek book I read and give out a lot called The Infinite Game. And his viewpoint is that we don't build big transformational change in quarters. We might measure a lot of performance and financial metrics in quarters, but big systemic transitions happen over a period of time. And so when you keep your eye on that horizon, in our case, decarbonizing the grid, and as a company going to actually be carbon negative and remove our historical emissions by 2050, if you keep your eye on those prizes, you're going to build the right solutions along the way.
So when people talk about building a business, how they use energy may not be the first topic of discussion. How do you get across the importance of a company's energy usage when it comes to enhancing their operations and becoming a sustainable business?
It's a great question. I think we see a growing awareness across all industries, recognizing that there are a few fundamental capabilities that underpin everything that they do as a business. And I would nominate technology as one of those underpinning capabilities that keep businesses alive, working in communication with their employees, their customers, and delivering value. And I would also nominate energy. And so I think as many companies, especially coming out of the last few years that we've all been through, as they think about resilience in supply chain or resilience in operations, I think there's a more clear focus on those foundations of energy and of technology. So I think we see that growing awareness in business is starting to think more holistically about how they operate and shoring up those capabilities. I think the other piece where we're going to see a big fundamental shift is in businesses recognizing the carbon emissions and both the opportunities and the risks of their carbon footprint. And so we're at Microsoft seeing a large shift in energy for businesses to get much more hands-on and tactical in carbon measurement and reporting capabilities. And we actually have a product, Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability, that is built to help companies get a handle on measuring what is their carbon footprint today across scope 1, 2, 3 emissions, understanding what they can do to reduce that carbon footprint, and also report it out. So we see that as an increasing role that businesses are going to take on really across industries.
So you just touched on some of this, and I wanted to ask you what you see as the future of power and really utilities and Microsoft's role in supporting that worldwide.
Absolutely. This is such an exciting sector to be in and to be here with you and all of these innovators at the Distributed Energy Conference, because I really think the power and utility sector is poised to leap ahead in technology, right? We're still operating with Nikola Tesla's grid, right, in many ways, and we're still in many parts of the world generating power from large spinning masses and pushing it out through linear, one-way grids. But we know and are actually seeing in front of us in leading markets this massive shift towards a more distributed, multinodal, real-time, renewable grid. And we know that to get there, we need new enabling technologies across the power and utilities value chain. So Microsoft is leaning into that in our partnerships with power and utilities companies, and we're actively engaged in finding ways that our cloud capabilities can serve really as a platform to help enable this more highly renewable distributed grid. So it's a very exciting space to be in, and just to make it a little more concrete, Microsoft thinks of our work in power and utilities across 4 industry priority areas. And anytime I'm speaking to a C-suite executive in the power and utility space, these are the 4 categories that keep them up at night, but also energize them about the future of their business. It's how do they operate for the future? How do they transform and equip their workforce for this next phase? How do they transition to clean? And how can they reimagine their business in the energy sector? So those are the 4 areas when we build these partnerships and come in as a technology partner and provider that we really look at. How do you run the business today to meet where you need to go in the future? And then what does the future paradigm of that business look like? Okay,
very good. Thanks, Hanna, for being with us today, and thanks for your keynote this morning. Some great insights on distributed generation in general, and certainly specifically Microsoft's role in furthering the purpose of decarbonization worldwide. Again, we want to thank Hanna Grene of Microsoft for being with us today. Once again, please look for this video, and we will catch up with everyone later. Thanks again, Hanna.
Thanks for having me, Daryl.